Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Nuggets of Wisdom. My name is Empress Pamela, and in this series, I share with you nuggets of wisdom that I've gathered along the way from various spiritual teachers, authors, influencers, perhaps, gurus, teachers, you name it. If I thought it was valuable for me, it was worth writing down. And I'm going through a bunch of notes that I turned into actual pages. And I've been going through, reading, figuring out what I can share with you, my audience. And today I am sharing with you. I don't have a date when I came across this information, but it was at the time where I was going to either reading or trying to write for an outlet called Medium, Medium.com. And in that outlet, I found Tim Denning, Denning, who I guess was a blogger, a writer on Medium.com. I want to say he was Australian. I guess I enjoyed him enough to compile these notes, and I want to share with you. I'm also doing this series to make a video representation of all the coursework and reading and personal investment in personal growth that I've done over the last 10, 15 years. Okay, so it's for all of us, and I don't mind sharing. Tim Denning, Medium.com. I've made more than 300,000 from writing. So that's his proclamation. And he has 8 lessons he wants to share. Lesson number 1, you need to discover your flow. Consistency, writing a lot. Get into flow. Example, each week, 10,000 words. How? Coffee, gym, exercise, 30 minutes, warm shower, music, no vocals, remove all distractions, start writing without worrying about outcome. Hear that a lot. Raise the bar at the end of each goal, each time, the number of words. 10,000 hour rule by Malcolm Gladwell. I guess that's his resource for how he came up with 10,000 words. During the course of my looking into writing, tips for writing, authors, etc., I guess I found that, or in my mind, I have the average number of words for a novel is 50,000 words. So, and I know in the month of November, National November Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, you can make it such that at the end of the 30 days, you'll have 50,000 words to make a novel, I guess. But I guess it depends on you, the author, what goals you want to set, number of words, times dedicated each day to your writing craft. That is something that you are in control of. The point is maybe that you establish a routine, that you are consistent, that you have a goal to reach that will help motivate you to get the words on paper. Have I been able to establish that? No, not consistently. I keep putting it off. I keep thinking I'm doing things to clear my calendar so that I have time to devote for a writing project. And then I just come up with other excuses, other time fillers. So, yeah, I'm just I'm just the messenger at this point. Maybe I know someday I'll have my shit together and would have published this poetry book that I basically have done, these story ideas that actually I read over this morning, ideas for books, titles for books, all these kinds of things. I just have to write the stuff. Okay. Lesson number 2 from Tim Denning. You won't make money from your first post or even your first 100 posts. Discover who you are, what matters to your audience, what you want to write about. Focusing on money sabotages you from future success as a writer. So in this one, I think he's coming from a blogging standpoint as far as posts and stuff like that. But discover who you are as a writer. Discover your voice, right? What matters to your audience? I've always had an issue, and I'm probably wrong. I feel like a writer should be authentic and write the story not to suit what the audience demands or expects, but what is in the author's imagination and spirit, and that it comes from the heart. My feeling is don't write to please others, write to please yourself, and your audience will find you. I don't know, that's probably the wrong attitude, but I'm willing to be wrong because that's something I feel. What you want to write about, that's important. Focusing on money sabotages you from future success. I feel like the pressure, whether you're an artist or a writer or even musician, there's such a pressure in our society to have a monetary outcome when we expend our energy creatively and definitely in a work situation. But somehow we need to continue to be creative without the pressure to have a financial outcome, if that makes sense. Maybe that's one of my stumbling blocks for why I would feel guilty for devoting a certain amount of time to a project if at the end I'm not getting a paycheck or my checking account doesn't expand as a result. How do I overcome that block? Okay, lesson number 3. You have to be okay with feeling naked. Your best writing makes you want to vomit, and that's what inspires others. I think that's speaking to authenticity, and you're speaking your truth, being authentic. Fight every day to be yourself and say what you think. Be vulnerable enough to share what's going on. Excuse me. To share what's going on and how you dealt with it. Authenticity compounds your self-worth. The more you open up, the more your writing opens up to bigger audience. Yeah. Well, for instance, I think I've grappled with this desire and mission to be authentic and speak my truth and be vulnerable right? With the hopes that my audience will find me. So, as an example, speaking of my cancer journey through my videos that I created, my Cancer Chronicles, there's a playlist. Um, my hopes was to, tell my story, speak my truth with the idea that I'm getting it off my chest. So there's like a personal investment and a personal gain, getting it off my chest to help me cope and heal. And then also simultaneously help others who may be going through the same or a similar experience. Mm-hmm. Lesson number 4, you have to be okay with getting paid. Beware imposter syndrome, humble brag syndrome. Making money means you're helping people, teaching others. So I know, like in the spiritual community, I don't know, I think some tarot readers have an issue with charging a certain amount, not because they don't believe in their gifts, but maybe because it's divine guidance. So, how do you put a monetary value on something that's divine, right? Um, but also, yeah, this imposter syndrome, like, they're paying me for my little thoughts, me writing down what I enjoy, blah blah blah. So somehow understanding that your time is worth it, that you're worthy. So there's some sort of worthiness that goes into that. Your talents, you do have talent, you have skills, and you're being paid for your own unique voice. Number 5, the 5th lesson, according to Tim Denning, you talk way too much about yourself. An audience wants to know your story and how it can help them. Needs clear and concise takeaways. Writing is therapy. Oh, well, I can relate to this. Talk way too much about myself. So there's going to be people who want to hear your story because they may be going through a similar thing and they need to know. They may like your energy or your sense of humor and they'll sit and listen to you. Need clear and concise takeaways. Writing is therapy. I don't know. I feel like, even though I like presentations where there's bullet points in it and I don't have to listen through some wordy diatribe from someone, right? And I want it all spelled out for me and to be easy. But sometimes the exercise is to listen to someone's experience or a story, and then there'll be certain things, words, events that will trigger you and help you identify what you needed to hear and perhaps what you need to heal in your own life. So I rather the reader or the audience use their own intelligence and their own intuition to gather everything that they need, their own personal lesson from the experience of reading whatever I wrote or listening to a video that I created. That's what I think. Okay. Number 6, you must be empathetic. Helpful writing that ends up making money is empathetic. An audience wants to be helped, but they'd prefer you didn't assume they were stupid and swear at them. Treat the audience like a friend, not an enemy. Respect your audience. Yeah, I think that kind of goes along with what I just said. Like, whomever is drawn to my videos already know that we share a kinship in energy, intelligence, emotional intelligence, curiosity, growth, knowledge, all of that. Don't swear. I'm not swearing at you. If I swear, I'm just being colorful, I guess, in my own way. Um, but treating an audience like a friend, yeah. If you're listening to me, I love you because we're in this together and we share something very deep and profound. Lesson number 7. Your writing output is so much more than the word count. Weekly writing is a must. 1 to 2 articles per week, 1,000 words plus. Look at how many stories I publish, how many stories published, plus research time. Writing time includes book reading time, research time, editing time, feedback from other writers time, picture selection time. I think he's talking specifically about his blog or whatever, but I think the point is when we are producing, whether it's writing for an article, a book, or we're painting a project, or we're a musician and writing a song, or creating the music to go along with words. There's so much more involved. It could be a collaboration with someone else. And all of that is the entire creative process. Okay, lesson number 8. You need to spend more time looking at other writers. Spelling, language, format, speak or speech, feelings, emotion, vocabulary, new ideas. Learn the craft better. Being a writer is being a continuous learner. Consume information, then regurgitate. Add value with personal stories, experiences, and different perspective. An idea that enters your mind never fully comes back out in the same way again through the words you write. That is the magic of writing. Don't compare yourself to other writers. Your results are personal. What matters is that you keep writing. So, yeah, I think it's okay to be influenced by other writers, authors, artists, musicians, whatever your creative outlet is, right? Um, you can be influenced by others, but you put your own personal creative spin on something because your energy is the one that's being utilized in the creation of your project. Yep. I don't know. I like those lessons. I like those tips in a way. I wish you all the best on your own creative journey. We're in this together. Don't beat yourself up. Just allow and put in some of the time to get those creative juices flowing.